Hello, guys. Welcome back to All Things About Cricket by JM. And today with us we have Yash Gupta. He is a cricket enthusiast, and rest I'll leave on him to introduce himself to all our YouTube fam. So, Yash, go on.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Janvi, for letting me be on the show. I'm Yash Gupta, and I'm the founder of Credexon. So it's a fantasy gaming company, and currently it's a startup. And yeah, I mean, I'm a very big cricket fan, and have been a cricket fan since 2007. So really looking forward to following the IPL this time as well.
Okay. So, Yash, you have seen that recently the 2023 auction conducted, and every team was there bidding for big names and overseas names. So, we are here for discussion for LSG and Gujarat Titans. So, of course, you being from UP and I'm being from UP, we'll discuss about Lucknow Super Giants because this is my city. Firstly, the very first question: when you were there and watching that IPL 2023 auction, what did you think that what their buys are gonna be?
So, okay, before the auction, so of course, Lucknow were one of the better teams in terms of the squads. They finished third last year, so they had most
Yeah,
of their bases covered. But they had let go of Manish Pandey as one of the big names, as well as Jason Holder, along with a few other
yeah,
backups such as Chamira and Dushmanta Chamira and Krishnappa Gautam. So basically, I
yeah,
was looking at them to get replacements to their some of their first team players, and most of their core remained the same. So I
yeah,
was actually thinking that they'll go after maybe one of the big three all rounders because Jason Holder had left. And apart from
yeah,
that, I was definitely thinking that they'd be in the market for a fast bowler because Mark Wood is the only bowler that they have, and they let go of Chamira. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, some of their picks did surprise me. Some of the picks did not surprise me. But yeah,
So
all in
which
all, I would
pick did
definitely say that
surprise
it was a
you,
very
Yash?
very interesting auction.
Which pick
Which
did
pick
surprise
surprised me?
you? Yeah,
Okay. So, okay, to be honest, Nicholas Puran is a pick that surprised me. And that's not only because it cost 16 CR, not only because they gave so much money for him, but also because I don't really see I don't really see how he fit into the 11 that well because they already
yeah,
have say KL Rahul, they have Quinton de Kock, and they have a very good like they pride themselves on their all rounders. So I didn't really see him fit there. Perhaps what they saw was a number three for Manish Pandey, maybe a
yeah,
replacement for Manish Pandey or like very very explosive middle order batsman.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, of course he's the West Indies captain, so he's not a bad player at all, and it's not the first time that he's attracted a big bid. But I would still say that given how Lucknow went in their previous auctions and their all-rounder heavy strategy and the kind of players they get, I was
yeah,
kind of surprised that they got Puran. And
yeah.
apart from that, I mean, yeah, sorry.
Also, Yash, before proceeding further and before discussing about what picks did surprise you, I would like to tell all of the people here that there were few names added to the squad. Firstly, I want to mention those names which were recently added to the squad. So they brought Puran in for 16 CR, and there was of course Daniel Sams coming in for 75, Naveen Ulak for 50, Jaydev Unadkat was added to the squad for 50. Amit Mishra was there. Yash Thakur, Prerak Mankat, Swapnil Singh, and Yudhvir Charak were few of the domestic names which were added. And not to forget, Romario Shepherd was added for 50 lakh rupees. Now, coming back to you, Yash, you were talking about Puran getting high bid of 16 CR, which is bit overrated according to you, and he is not fitting in the squad. Then which pick do you think that Lucknow steal the deal was for? Like, which pick was steal the deal for Lucknow?
So the best pick for Lucknow from the
Yeah,
auction.
yeah,
So I would say that definitely. So I have a couple of names. I think Unatkat is a very very good pick. Unatkat is a very shrewd pick for a pretty cheap amount as well. And he's had many teams as well. And Lucknow were basically looking for a kind of an Indian fast bowler, and they got one for really cheap. So I think Unatkat was a really good pick. And then you just mentioned Romario Shepherd. I think he's also been a really good pick, and he could be one of the most like value for money picks in the auction because if you remember, Sunrisers spent I think 8 CR on him last season, and he is
Yeah,
a West Indian all-rounder. So you have the flair, you have the T20 caliber, and you have everything. And
yeah,
basically, he could be like the extremely cheap replacement to Jason Holder, who could actually work out. So yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
was I really liked the pick of Jason of Romario Shepherd as well as Unadkat. Those were really good picks according to me.
Yeah. Also, looking at the Lucknow Super Giants squad, yes, there are two good spinners added. Like I can say, like the spinner department is pretty well equipped now for Lucknow Super Giants after adding Amit Mishra into the squad. Do you think that he can act as an impact player for them?
So yes, I think Amit Mishra is a very good signing. He was the oldest player in the auction, but he is definitely backup to Ravi Bishnoi. So as
Yeah,
backup to Ravi Bishnoi, I definitely do think that Amit Mishra is a very very good pick, and he could. And in fact, even on like I think he's one of the top leading run wicket takers in the IPL as well because he's been playing since the first edition. So I would say
yeah,
that yes, he's a very good pick, especially for I think they got him for 50 lakh or something. So that's a very
yeah.
good pick. But again, for sure he's definitely still second fiddle to Ravi Bishnoi. He can step in obviously if he's injured for a few games, but I don't think if I would rely on him for the entire season.
Yeah. Also, with this, Yash, I want to ask you. We were talking about, there is no place for Puran coming in. So, firstly, there are three wicket keepers now included in playing 11. One would be KL, one would be Puran for sure because 16 CR can't be benched out, right? And the other name which is there is Quinton de Kock. So,
Yeah.
among the top three, what do you think that who will go for the wicket keeping option this time?
I think that Quinton de Kock would be the keeper. I think that's a simple call because I don't think neither like both Puran and Rahul can keep wickets, but they aren't the first. Like that's not their first skill basically. Like
Yeah,
KL Rahul only is a second skill. He can keep wickets, but that doesn't mean he prefers to, and he's the captain anyway. And same goes for Nicholas Puran. Like I don't think he prefers to keep wickets. He's a very very good fielder, and so is KL Rahul. So yeah, I mean, I think Quinton de Kock definitely works into the team as well, not only as a keeper, but because he was probably like their best batsman after KL Rahul last season. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I do think that Quinton de Kock will don the gloves.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, do you think that Puran will be having some or the other pressure of having that such higher price on his name? Because we have seen last year, no, it impacted Ishan Kishan being one of the most expensive players. Of course, he is not more like one of the most expensive players, but of course, he is in the list of that. So, what do you think that Puran's game might get affected because of the price thing, or his form can be seen back in the IPL because last season was not that great for Puran. He was getting out on so many ducks.
So by the way, Puran did cost more than Kishan. So even if he's not one of the most expensive, even if he's not the most expensive player this auction, he still cost
Yeah,
more than Kishan did.
yeah,
Having said that, I do think yes, it's going to play a role. Because he got a very high bid last year as well. I think last year he got 10 CR bid, and even the
yeah,
year before that he got a pretty big bid, like 7 or 8 CR or something, and he hasn't
yeah,
done particularly well. So I mean, obviously it plays on your mind. It plays on. It's like just a natural. It's human that
yeah,
it would play on his mind. Uh, but I think that the role that Lucknow Super Giants are giving him, and the role that they are grooming him for, because they have very good openers and they have a pretty solid middle order in terms of the like all rounders. They have Krunal Pandya, they have Marcus Stoinis, they have Ayush Badoni. So that basically gives Nicholas Puran more freedom to express himself and more basically like more flair. Anyway, he's from West Indies, so like there would be a sort of fearless cricket that comes when he plays anyway. So I think because of the role he is, he's probably being groomed for a like a high risk, high reward kind of role. So like kind of like a role that Maxwell plays, for example, batting at 3 or 4. Like Maxwell plays batting at the top of the order. So I think that that could actually go in his favor as well because we've seen how baseball has improved Test cricket. So maybe there could be a baseball version still coming of T20 cricket that we don't know yet. So I
yeah.
think that because of the goal that LSG expect of him, it could not he could he would he could still do well and not be phased by the price tag.
Yeah. Also, shortly we will be discussing the weaknesses and some of the loopholes which LSG still holds. But before that, I want to tell everyone here for the analysis that ये जो कुछ नाम जुड़े हैं, मैं फटाफट से इनके बैकअप प्लेयर्स एंड इनके बारे में रिव्यू देना चाहती हूँ सभी को। पूरन को लिया है 16 करोड़ रुपयों में, लेकिन अभी भी एक सवाल उठता है कि इनको प्लेइंग 11 में रखा जाएगा तो ये डक्स पे जाएंगे कि सेंचुरीज मार के जाएंगे। दूसरी चीज, एलएसजी का स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पॉइंट ये नजर आ रहा है कि अब की बार इनके स्क्वाड में स्पिनर्स का काफी अच्छा नाम है, चाहे लेग स्पिनर्स हो चाहे फिंगर स्पिनर्स हो। टीम बहुत अच्छे स्पिनर्स से इक्विप करी गई है यहाँ पे। और साथ ही में दो ऑलराउंडर नाम जो जुड़े हैं, डैनियल सैम्स और रोमेरियो शेपर्ड, ये दोनों नाम अपने में बहुत अच्छे हैं। हालांकि डैनियल सैम्स का एक फॉर्म कंसर्न है, वो हम अभी वीकनेसेस में जरूर डिस्कस करेंगे एलएसजी की। और साथ में ये टीम थोड़ी सी कंप्लीट दिख रही है क्योंकि आपको विकेट कीपिंग ऑप्शंस भी मिल रहे हैं। आपके टॉप 3 टॉप 4 पूरन चले बाशर्ते तो बहुत स्ट्रांग नजर आ रही है लखनऊ सुपर जायंट्स। अब यश, हम लोग इनके ऑफ कोर्स इनके प्लस पॉइंट्स, इनके जो लूप होल्स थे ऑलराउंडर के, चाहे वो पेसर्स के, वो पूरे हो चुके हैं, वो यहाँ पे भर चुके हैं। मार्कवुड का रिप्लेसमेंट उन्होंने पेसर्स के तौर तौर पे जयदेव उनादकट को लिया है, और पेसर में अगर देखा जाए तो इन्होंने यश ठाकुर को भी ऐड किया, लेकिन ऑफ कोर्स ये डोमेस्टिक खिलाड़ी हैं। अगर आपको अभी लूपहोल्स पे बात की जाए तो यश, आपको लगता है कि मार्कवुड जो इनके एक ऐसे पेसर हैं, उनका लाइक टू लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट कहा जा सकता है कि एलएसजी के पास है कि अभी नहीं है?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I completely agree with you. So in my weaknesses also, I had listed like a true option for Mark Wood. So there's
Yeah,
obviously no doubt that Mark Wood is the first choice bowler, but he's very, very injury prone. Like it would be pretty surprising for me actually if he goes through the entire season without getting injured in even one match. And like
yeah,
obviously he's a quality bowler, but he can blow hot and cold as well. So it's not like he would always he's obviously a reliable wicket taker, but he can sometimes go for runs or sometimes have the odd bad game. So
yeah,
yeah, like you said, for they were definitely because they let Dushmanjat Chamira go as well. They were looking for a replacement. They've gotten a couple of Indian options. Unatkat, like you mentioned, is one of them. Mohit Sharma, the forgotten CSK pacer who was one of the who was instrumental in the 2015 World Cup. Mohit Sharma has been signed by LSG.
yeah,
So those two are the pacers that they have replaced them with. But obviously there is no comparison. They're very different
yeah,
kind of bowlers. Mark Wood relies on his pace and his bounce, the other two on their line and their length. So yes, I mean I was surprised that they didn't go for anyone, and I
yeah,
actually thought that they could have gone for say Kyle Jamieson, who CSK got for a steal.
yeah,
Kyle Jamieson, even Jai Richardson, who Mumbai Indians got for a steal, or Chris
yeah,
Jordan, who actually went unsold, or even Adam Milne. Adam Milne is probably the closest like-to-like replacement who went unsold, and he wasn't
yeah.
even that expensive
Yeah.
in his base price. So they could have gone
Yash,
for these.
Yash, sorry to interrupt, but just a quick thing to correct you. Mohit Sharma went to Gujarat Titans and not to LSG. So in Pacer squad, they only had Naveen ul Haq as a pacer, and then of course Shepherd coming in, Daniel Sams coming in, Thakur coming in, Prerak Mankad coming in. So yeah, and Yudhvir Charak.
Okay. So sorry. Okay, my bad. I thought Mohit Sharma went to Lucknow. He
Yeah,
went to Gujarat. But anyway,
I
he
know.
was the second choice. Unatkat is the first choice replacement, and the others that you mentioned again, Sams and Shepherd, they aren't like Mark Wood. Like they are very
Yeah,
different bowlers. So like I said, they could have gone for the options that I mentioned, such as Milne, Kyle Jamieson, and Jai Richardson. So they could have gone there. And obviously, the second part that you mentioned was about the lack of a quality all rounder, maybe like the Jason Holder replacement that they didn't get a like to like replacement. Like Romario Shepherd is the closest one, but he's not a
yeah,
high profile signing, or he's
yeah,
not maybe a 14 game or 16 game player in the league. So instead of that, obviously they didn't bid for Stokes, which I said earlier, but even lesser and more better options could have been someone like James Neesham, for example. Jimmy Neesham is a very useful middle order batsman and a bowler who fits the bill kind of exactly like Jason Holder. Jimmy Neesham was one who went unsold, and then Shakib Al Hassan also they could have gone for as an all rounder. So these are some of
yeah.
the misses that they could have gone for instead of the players they went with.
Also, Yash, with this, Mohsin Khan is one of the name which was added. Of course, he is from Muradabad. He's a UP lad, and he was added in the squad. But it's been like a good number of days that he haven't played very competitive cricket. He was not involved in any of the matches, domestic matches as well, because he was injury prone. Last season we saw him in action, but it's been long that we've seen Mohsin Khan. So, what do you think that this year can be fiery for him, or still the injury concerns will be there? Even if no injury concerns, then again we are lacking some of the good pacer replacement here in the squad, because we haven't got for Mark Wood, and secondly, if we talk about Mohsin Khan as well, we don't have a replacement for him as well.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So I would say Unadkat would be the replacement for him. Although what I would mention is that Mohsin Khan was amazing last season. Like in the games he played,
Yeah,
his stats were really good. I think he was also in the running to win the young player or the emerging player award as well. So he was playing really well. But I
yeah,
think my so I'm excited to watch him. Obviously he's injury prone, but I think he'll still be a good force, a very important force for them, like he was last season, because he hasn't played that much. So maybe batsmen haven't gotten time to figure him out yet.
yeah,
What I'm more worried about is Avesh Khan, because Avesh Khan, obviously they spent a lot of money on him last year, and he was very good for them, and he was very good for DC when he played before. But he has definitely been low on confidence, low on form. He has been dropped from the India squad, and he hasn't played since the Asia Cup. So Avesh Khan would be a bigger concern for me than Mohsin Khan. Like you said, they don't have the right Indian replacements for them. They only have a Nutcut right now in the squad. So yeah,
yeah,
I mean that is something that they could have planned better. But for me,
yeah,
Avesh Khan would be a bigger concern than Mohsin Khan, because two reasons: a, Avesh Khan they spend more money on, and second, they rely much more on Avesh Khan than Mohsin Khan, because Mohsin Khan used to bowl primarily with the new ball, and then maybe like one over at the death, but mainly in the middle and the new ball. And Avesh Khan
yeah,
was their death bowler. Avesh Khan was their wicket taker. So
yeah.
I'd be more worried about that. And then if Mark Wood gets injured and Avesh Khan doesn't rediscover his previous form, then Mohsin Khan and Unadkat
It's a
can't really
big
carry that
concern.
bowling
Yeah,
lineup.
yeah.
And
So
Holder is also their Holder was the best all-rounder they had, like in terms of with
yeah.
the ball, and Holder's not there either.
Yeah. So I think so the loopholes which LSG is facing at the moment is definitely about the Pacers, not the Pacers who were included in the playing 11, but at the Pacers, if you look at Mohsin Khan injury concerns can be there, आवेश खान का फॉर्म का जरूर एक कंसर्न रहेगा कि उनका फॉर्म पहले जैसा कैरी ऑन होगा कि नहीं होगा. मोहसिन खान की इंजरी का देखा जाएगा कि इस सीजन में वो खेल पाएंगे, और अगर खेल पाएंगे तो क्या वो फॉर्म वापस ला पाएंगे, क्योंकि काफी महीनों से उन्होंने कंपेटिटिव क्रिकेट नहीं खेला है, डोमेस्टिक में भी वो इन्वॉल्व नहीं थे. मार्क वुड जरूर इनका सीजन ये खेलेंगे, लेकिन मार्क वुड के साथ भी प्रॉब्लम ये रहेगी कि वो शायद से कुछ मैचेस के लिए अवेलेबल ना हो. खुदा ना खास्ता अगर उनको इंजरी हो गई तो उनके लिए लाइक टू लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है अभी लखनऊ के पास. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये लूप होल्स हैं. दूसरा, जेसन होल्डर का जो एक ऑलराउंडर के तौर पे कहा जाता है वो कोई नहीं मिल पाया. अगर हम लोग डैनियल सैम्स को लाते भी हैं जेसन होल्डर की जगह, तो एक तो सबसे पहले ओवरसीज स्लॉट नहीं अलाउ कर रहा है यहाँ पे, और दूसरी चीज, अगर ओवरसीज स्लॉट हम लोग इनके लिए एक बनाते भी हैं तो यश, क्या डैनियल सैम्स का जो फॉर्म है वो जो बिग बैश लीग के लिए रहता है वो आईपीएल के लिए भी उतना ही अच्छा रहता है नहीं रहता, क्योंकि ये जरूर एक सवाल उठता है डैनियल सैम्स के बारे में.
Yeah, so I would say, so I said this before too, that if you want, because they don't have a like-to-like replacement for Holder, the closest person they got is Romario Shepherd. So I think that they should play Romario Shepherd over Daniel Sams. Having said that, it genuinely depends on the team dynamic that they want. So if they want a batting all-rounder, they should play Romario Shepherd. If they want a bowling all-rounder, they should play Daniel Sams, because bowling is Daniel Sams' strongest suit. But
Yeah,
you were completely right. Like last season, he played for Mumbai Indians and he didn't really play well. He was very expensive. Even the
yeah,
season before that, I think he was playing with RCB and he didn't play the best. So Romario Shepherd also hasn't had very good IPL numbers. He's obviously had good numbers in other leagues, and he's played in many leagues. So I would say that Romario Shepherd would be my first choice, and then obviously Daniel Sams is a tried and tested international. They would hope that he rediscovers his form. But
yeah.
if it comes down to picking between the both of them, I would pick for Shepherd first.
Shepherd first. With this, coming to conclusion with LSG, I'm going to state here my playing 11 and the reasons for those playing 11. Yash, I would ask your playing 11 as well, but I don't want you to state the reason. You can be very quick about your playing 11, but I'll state my playing 11 and the reasons to it. So, firstly, my playing 11 has. स्टार्टिंग में हम लोग 4 ओवरसीज स्लॉट बता देती हूँ मैं अपने प्लेइंग 11 के, जिसमें से क्विंटन डीकॉक, क्योंकि बैटिंग विकेट कीपर ऑप्शन देते हैं, पूरन 16 करोड़ के खरीदे, एलएसजी में जरूर इंक्लूड किए जाएंगे। दूसरा उनको स्लॉट जाता है। तीसरा मार्कस टॉयनिस को जाता है, बिकॉज आई थिंक सो ही इज अ फायरी बैटर एंड एट द सेम टाइम आपको पेस भी देते हैं और बैटिंग ऑप्शन भी देते हैं। फिर चौथा मुझे लगता है मार्कवुड को जरूर इंक्लूड करेंगे स्क्वाड में, बिकॉज इस सीजन के लिए वो अवेलेबल होंगे। ऑफ कोर्स उनकी इंजरी कंसर्न्स नहीं हुई, सो आई थिंक सो ही विल डेफिनेटली बी इंक्लूडेड इन प्लेइंग 11। ये 4 ओवरसीज स्लॉट है। इसके अलावा अगर हम लोग टॉप ऑर्डर से शुरू करें तो केएल राहुल, क्विंटन डीकॉक, पूरन, दीपक हुडा यहाँ पे मैंने इंक्लूड किया है, और मार्कस टॉयनिस। ये नंबर अगर 1 से लेकर 5 तक के हम लोग अपने प्लेयर्स को देखते हैं, तो इसमें से 2 लोग हमें लेफ्ट हैंड का ऑप्शन देते हैं, जिसमें से एक पूरन आता है और एक क्विंटन डीकॉक आता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक राइट और लेफ्ट का कॉम्बिनेशन बना रह रहा है नंबर 1 से लेकर नंबर 5 तक। फिर मैंने नंबर जो अपना मिडिल ऑर्डर है, उसमें ऑफ कोर्स मैंने जैसे कि मेंशन किया मार्कस टॉयनिस, आयुष बदौनी को लिया है, क्योंकि ये एक स्पिन का भी ऑप्शन देते हैं, अगर इनको ओवर्स कराने पड़े 1 या 2 ओवर्स ये कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद कृणाल पांड्या, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं लगता कि इनसे बेटर फिंगर स्पिनर का बैकअप है अभी इनके पास। और फिर उसके बाद मुझे लगता है मार्कवुड पेसर्स में से आएंगे, आवेश खान को पेसर में मौका मिलेगा, जयदेव उनादकट को मौका मिल सकता है मोहसिन खान के ऊपर। दिस इज व्हाट आई फील, क्योंकि बहुत लोग मोहसिन खान को प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे हैं, बट माय पिकअप इज जयदेव उनादकट फॉर इट। एंड ऑफ कोर्स एडिंग अ लेगी टू इट, रवि बिश्नोई हैज टू मेक हिज प्लेस। तो ये है मेरी प्लेइंग 11। एंड यश, कमिंग टू यू, व्हाट इज योर प्लेइंग 11 क्विकली?
Yeah, so agreed. I think I completely agree with your playing 11. So my first choice 11 would be Rahul and De Kock to open, Pooran at 3, Deepak Huda at 4, then Stoinis at 5, Ayush Badoni at 6 for lack of a better option. They don't have anyone else. Then Kunal
Yeah.
Pandya at 7, Mark Wood, Ravi Bishnoi, and I would go with Avesh Khan and Unatkat as well for at least the beginning, and maybe Mohsin Khan to make an appearance when one of them doesn't do that, like when sometime in the season.
Okay, so this is your playing 11. Thank you for the LSG analysis. And moving on from LSG, Yash, we'll be talking about Gujarat Titans in a minute. Let me open the squad for Gujarat Titans. Um, so, yeah, now, talking about Gujarat Titans, I would like to tell everyone their picks. They are left with 4.45 CR का बजट जो उनका था वो बचा है। 19 के आसपास करोड़ के बजट के आसपास ही उतरे थे, लेकिन अब 4 करोड़ का बजट ऑलमोस्ट इनके पास बचा था, पर्स बचा था। इनकी टॉप पिक्स में रहा है शिवम मावी, जिनको इस पेसर को उन्होंने 6 करोड़ के लिए बैकअप किया है, और अभी हाल ही में उनको इंडिया की तरफ से भी कॉल आई है, विच इज अ गुड न्यूज फॉर दिस लैड। ये पहले हमें केकेआर की तरफ से खेलते हुए नजर आते थे, और अब शिवम मावी ने हाइप मारा है गुजरात टाइटंस के लिए, जो कि 6 करोड़ में बिके हैं, सेकंड मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव प्लेयर रहे हैं। केन विलियमसन को इन्होंने 2 करोड़ उनके महज बेस प्राइस पे खरीदा, जो कि एक बहुत अच्छा बल्लेबाजी का टॉप ऑर्डर में ऑप्शन दे रहे हैं। राइट हैंड बैट्समैन है, न्यूजीलैंड के लिए भी कैप्टन कर चुके हैं, एसआरएच के लिए भी खेलते थे। इसके बाद इन्होंने इन्होंने टारगेट किया है केएस भारत को, जो कि इनको विकेट कीपिंग का भी ऑप्शन दे रहे हैं और बैटिंग का भी एक ऑप्शन दे रहे हैं। हालांकि इनके पास विकेट कीपर में 2 नाम ऑलरेडी थे, एक मैथ्यू वेड थे, एक रिद्धिमान साहा थे, लेकिन इसके साथ साथ एक इंडियन विकेट कीपर का और ऑप्शन दिया है साहा के अलावा, केएस भरत के आके। ओडियन स्मिथ आए हैं, एक पेस लेके आए हैं, यहाँ पे एक पेसर को बैकअप किया है इन्होंने, उसके साथ जोशुआ लिटिल को भी इन्होंने खरीदा है। इनका लेफ्ट आर्म पेस है, तो एक वेरिएशन भी आता है पेस में यहाँ पे, और काफी बड़े प्राइस में मुझे लगता है कि जोशुआ लिटिल को लिया है गुजरात टाइटंस ने, तो ऑफकोर्स अपनी टीम में ये बैकअप करेंगे। इसके साथ मोहित शर्मा और उर्विल पटेल को भी लिया है, अपने पेसर्स को बैक किया है, जिसमें एक इंडियन पेसर मोहित शर्मा लिए और उर्विल पटेल लिए गए हैं, जो कि गुजरात के ही लोकल प्लेयर है। तो इसके साथ सबसे पहला सवाल यश, ये इनके टॉप पिकअप्स रहे हैं डोमेस्टिक इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स। तो अब मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, एक तो सबसे फेवरेट पिकअप आप अपना बता दो इनके हिसाब से कि कौन सा फेवरेट रहा है और कौन सा ओवररेटेड रहा है?
So actually, for Gujarat Titans, it's hard to answer because they had really shrewd picks. Like they had really
Yeah.
good value for money picks, and they got all the players that they wanted. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say overrated because I don't think any player that they bought is overpriced. But okay, like maybe I would say that Shivam Mavi is a very good investment, and I agree with them buying it, but
Yeah.
only because, and I'm being a bit too harsh on Gujarat here because they bought everyone else for so low. Like they bought Kane Williamson
Yeah.
for 2 CR. They got Odion Smith at base price. They got Joshua Little for less price too. So that's the only reason I'm saying that okay, he could have been he's a bit overpriced, but only because of their strategy. I would like to say that I think Gujarat Titans had a very good auction and they got most of the picks that they wanted at really good prices too. And in terms of the best pick that you're asking me, the best pick I would definitely go with Kane Williamson.
Okay, and yes, there were a lot of questions coming on that will Kane Williamson make his place in playing 11 or not for the Gujarat Titans squad, because the squad seemed pretty balanced. Of course, they won the title in their very first season. So weakness में तो as such Gujarat Titans के पास कोई weakness नहीं है. But what do you think that playing 11 में Kane Williamson will be included? Because I still remember when Kane Williamson was in SRH, few initial matches he was benched out.
No, yeah, that's a good point. So I would actually so I know like Gujarat obviously won the title last year and they deserved to win the title and they had a really good team. But I would not say that they had zero weaknesses, and in fact I would say that on paper their squad wasn't even, I would say, in the top five strongest squads. Like they had a few gaps in their squad. Like they had Tevatia batting at six. They had Vridhaman Saha or Matthew Wade. Like they didn't have like a proper wicket keeper, and
Yeah.
apart from Hardik Pandya and Rashid Khan, who were star players, they didn't have anyone else who was a match winner. It was just that Hardik Pandya was an amazing captain, and he galvanized the team really well, and everyone played really well together. So
Yeah.
there were definitely gaps in their 11, and I think they
Yeah.
have this auction. They have filled up a lot of them. They have not filled up one, which we will come to later, but they have filled up a lot of them. With regards to Kane Williamson, I definitely do think that he should be in the playing 11 and he should start. I'll give you my reason for that. So one is that first of all that Gujarat Titans have an explosive team. Like Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson are the only players who are basically who can study the ship and who can bat through the innings. Apart from
Yeah.
that, they have very destructive players. They have David Miller, they have Rahul Tevatia, they have Hardik Pandya. So it's a very destructive lineup. So Kane Williamson gives it the right balance, and Kane Williamson gives it the right gives the other people the right platform to basically build something from. So that's one
Yeah.
of the reason, and second is because of the obvious gaps in their batting that they had last season. Like they
Yeah.
had to persist with Saha, they had to play Abhinav Manohar, they had to play Matthew Wade, they had to play Sudarshan. So like because of all these gaps, like I think Kane Williamson's a very good signing, and he basically makes that middle order that won Gujarat so many games, that middle order of Miller, Rashid, and Tevatia so much more dangerous because he's basically shielding them. So
Yeah.
Kane Williamson definitely comes definitely plays for me in the lineup, and that would
Yeah.
mean that Matthew Wade would not
So
play, and
Yash,
I think they
according
covered
to
the
you,
bases by getting.
so Yash, according to you, you're talking about Kane Williamson coming in and giving them a good start. Do you think that he will act as a balance to the team? Balance to the team. When I talk, it's like cementing his place for a longer term and letting the other end, attack like the other side. Do you think because Kane Williamson, Shubman Gill, when we look at their top order, so of course, as you mentioned, the middle order is quite fiery, but the top order is not that fiery. We'll be discussing that in the weaknesses of Gujarat Titans. But what do you think that Kane Williamson वहाँ पे कौन सा रोल निभाने आएंगे कि मैं यहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ, go and play your attacking game, because of course in the end of the day it's 120 balls.
So I see Kane. The only two places I see Kane Wilson bat is either as an opener or at number three. And
Yeah.
about the point that you made about Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson, yeah, that could be a bit conservative opening pair. But having said that, both of them have the ability to accelerate, and also talk about Babar Rizwan, for example. Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, both of them are very
Yeah.
similar batsmen. They are not very attacking, but look what they've done for Pakistan. Like they have 150 run stands and they lay the platform, and then basically in this case the difference is that they have a very strong middle order to back them. So I think
Yeah.
that definitely like Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson are both quality players. They do start slow, but that doesn't mean that they can't accelerate. So I think that it doesn't matter how slowly he plays or how fast he plays. He's just one of the best batsmen in the world, Kane Williamson. He still is, I would say. And Shubman Gill
Yeah.
is definitely one of the top upcoming talents in the future. So
Yeah.
I think that
And
they will be the opening pair.
yeah, and yes, as you said, I think so. You're pretty sure that this opening pair will be for a longer period of time because we have seen changes. Like the first season had a lot of changes. It might be because they were trying, combinations out to, match their playing 11 and to see that which player is
Yeah.
fit for which position. But do you think that Saha can be the opening pair, or maybe Abhinav can make a place in place of Saha or in place of Kane Williamson anyhow, because this is of course a big call, removing, benching out Kane Williamson. But still, do you think that will can they go for their previous top order?
See, so if they bench Kane Williamson, they'll bench him for either Matthew Wade, like as a foreign spot. Either Matthew Wade would take that spot, or I would say Odion Smith has a very good chance of taking the spot because I think Odion Smith was also a very good signing. So it's to
Yeah,
one of them. And in terms of the openers, so Saha is a quality player, but and he played actually really well for Gujarat last season, contrary to what many people thought. Like he actually played really well. No one was expecting him to do that well. But having said that, I would still say that if they don't play Williamson, they should play Odion Smith. And instead of and for the openers, they should have KS Bharat because KS Bharat has played for India as well. He has an amazing domestic record, and he's one of their new purchases. So KS Bharat can open. Abhinav Manohar, like you said, can also open, and Shubman Gill
yeah.
is obviously the
But
other opener who's.
But yes, do you think that Odion Smith in when we see the Pacers squad? So of course we will be having in the Pacers squad we will be having Shami who will be playing in their Pacers squad. If we also look at Hardik Pandya, he is also giving a Pacer option. And then if we look at Joshua Little, there are only two left arm pacers in the squad. One is Yash Dayal and one is Joshua Little. And the only reason they backed up these players was they wanted a left arm pacer to be included in the squad. So, do you think if Odion Smith is gonna come, Joshua Little will be sacrificed at the same time? Because in the end of the day, it's just four overseas slot, and with this David Miller, 100% he'll play. Joshua Little, he must be there because that is the only variation. I mean, he's the only left arm spinner the team I mean left arm pacer the team has. Kane Williamson will be included. So what's the take on that?
Yeah, so that's a hard one, honestly. Like, I don't know what they would go with,
Yeah,
but I think that they still have Alzari Joseph in their team. So
yeah,
Alzari Joseph could be the top pick. Alzari Joseph could be the pacer that they start things off with. So in terms of
yeah,
the overseas slots, the only slot that's guaranteed, I would say, is Rashid Khan and
yeah,
possibly David Miller. Apart from that, they have many directions that they can go. If they go with the pure batsman Kane Williamson, they could also go with Odion Smith. The reason I mentioned Odion Smith was because then you look at that middle order. That middle order is Hardik Pandya, David Miller, Rashid Khan, Rahul Tewatia, and Odion Smith. Like
yeah,
those are five extremely destructive batsmen who are shielding behind basically Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson, and any five of them can come in and change the game, and they can start hitting from the first ball. And again, they give more balance to the team. So that's why I
yeah,
said that Odion could play. And basically, there's a scenario where all of them are playing. So if David Miller, Odion Smith, and Rashid Khan are playing, then they could not play Williamson or Wade and just play Alzari Joseph, or they could
yeah,
just play Joshua Little. But if you ask me, that they have some very good foreign spots, and they obviously have a dilemma on their hands who the top four foreigners players should be. But if you ask me what I think, I would say that Kane,
yeah,
like at least to start the tournament, they would start with Kane Williamson, they would start with
yeah,
David Miller, they would start with Rashid Khan, and they would probably start with Joshua Little because they bought him this year. But they could also start with Al Joseph. Like one of them, they would start basically.
yeah. So, Yash, with this, we'll come to the weaknesses of the team, which is like very minimal. So I think so. The only weakness I can find in this team, because of course this is the champion team. So the only weakness I can find is about the top three. So these top three are not very firing. So do you think that the opening pair, which needs to be fiery, which, like for example, we can see in the LSG that it's KL and Quinton de Kock, we both know that the opening pair is quite fiery. So do you think that here the Gujarat Titans are lacking behind that aggressiveness in their opening pair or in their top three, if I say? Or do you think no, because these are big names, Shuman is a big name, Kane is a big name, they can always, pick up and can go aggressive, but it's like going opposite the game in it.
Yeah, so I would say that they are big names and they can manage. Also, the top three, I would think that in Hardik Pandya would should be batting at three. So basically, like KS Bharat or Riddhaman Saha or Abhinav Manohar or one of those people would be the floater, like they were last year as well. Like he could come in at number eight if he's not needed. He could come in at number three depending on what the situation is. So I think the top three should be Shubman Gill, Kane Williamson, and Hardik Pandya. So that basically Hardik Pandya gives you the balance and gives you the destructiveness as well. And then
But
obviously yeah.
but do you think that Hardik Pandya at number three is more suitable than he coming at number four and number five, because this is what he has played? Changing his position to number three, it's quite, having a lot of doing an experiment kind of a thing in the squad.
So I don't think so. I don't think so. First, I'll give you two reasons. One is that Kane Williamson and Shubman Gill are the openers, so you have that solidity at the top. And then second is that Hardik Pandya did bat at three a couple of times last season. Last time they had Vijay Shankar, who didn't really do that well. I mean, they still have Vijay Shankar this time, but he didn't do that well at three. So Hardik found himself
Yeah,
coming in batting early, and he made around 500 runs this season. So I think that Hardik Pandya is the batsman, and he clearly loves the added responsibility of being a captain. It's up to his game. So I don't think it's a problem. I think he can bat at three. And like I said, even if he does fail, he has David Miller, he has Rashid Khan, he has Rahul Tewatia, and he has the floater, like I said. So he has either KS Bharat or Abhinav Manohar, who's still coming after and trying to
yeah,
basically steer the ship. So I think
yeah,
that he should. I think playing at three is actually a positive move, and that something that we could
yeah.
even watch Hardik Pandya do, and something that I think he should be doing as well.
Yeah. Also, with this, I want to come on the playing 11. And before coming on playing 11, yeah, just a quick thing. Who will be the impact player for the Gujarat Titans?
Yeah, just before that, I would like to say that you were saying that they didn't really have many weaknesses. I would again say that one more weakness that I think that they didn't cover was the loss of Lockie Ferguson. So Lockie
Yeah,
Ferguson they bought from CR last year, and he's a he's a quality bowler, 150 kmph, and he's first team for Kiwis, and he was playing
I
the
know.
entire last season, and they traded him to KKR. So not going for his replacement was very surprising for me. I think Joshua Little is probably his replacement in their books, but just like I mentioned a few players for LSG,
Little
they could have gone
experience. Yeah,
for these players as well. Like they could have gone for Kyle Jamieson, they could have gone for Richardson, they could have gone for Chris Jordan, they could have gone for Topley if they were looking for a left arm option. So that is
yeah,
one. And the second was also the lack of a quality Indian spinner or a backup to Rashid Khan, basically. So
yeah,
at the moment, their spin department is Rashid Khan, Rahul Tewatia, and maybe Sai Sudarshan. I think like
yeah.
that's probably like their top spinning. That's their top.
Sai
Those are their top
Kishore, yeah.
spinners.
Sai Kishore
Sorry.
and Sai Sudarshan.
Yeah.
Sai Kishore, one giving them leg spin, and Rashid Khan, of course. And yeah, I think so. These are the few names when you talk about
So
the
yeah, exactly.
spinners.
So obviously Rashid Khan is the best in the world. Rashid Khan is the
Yeah,
best in the world. There's no doubt about that. But it's about what it's apart from him. So if Rashid Khan gets injured for a couple of games, who's going to be the spinner? Rahul Tewatia, they play at five or six. They play primarily as a batsman because they didn't even bowl
yeah,
him that much last season. So they should have gone for a quality spinner. They could have even gone for someone like Amit Mishra, who LSG got, or someone like Piyush Chawla, who
yeah,
Mumbai got, like an old option but a trusted option. So I
yeah,
think that they could have gone for that as well. And in the
yeah,
pace department, like they did go for Mohit Sharma, which is a good, I guess, which is a good backup to Yash Dayal and Shivam Mavi. But they could have
yeah,
also gone for someone like a Sandeep Sharma, because Sandeep
yeah,
Sharma also went unsold, and Sandeep Sharma is a wicket taker, and he could be a replace. He could actually be a good backup to Shami as well, because he can bowl
yeah,
at the death as well as with the new ball. So that's something that they could have done. But again, I might be underestimating Gujarat because they won the title last time. They have the core, they have the pretty much the same team apart from Lockie Ferguson, I would say, from last year. So they are pretty much, they've covered all the boxes. If they won the title last year, then they're again contenders this year.
Well, yeah, definitely. So, concluding all their weaknesses, it's more of the loss of the Lockie Ferguson, no replacement to that. Even to the pacer department, we see that the backing of the Indian pacers are not that much, keeping, of course, the injury concerns in mind and some of the players' availability as well. So, we see lack of pacers, Indian pacers in the squad as their backup, and of course, spinners, as told by Yash, that if Rashid gets injured, then what is the like to like replacement for him. And then of course the other thing is that top three aggressive batting lineup, which is not a major concern, but can be points to talk about. Other than these, Yash, who can be the impact player for Gujarat Titans?
You mean out of the new signings or the entire squad?
No, the entire squad.
So that is an easy answer for me. It has to be Hardik Pandya. He's really surprised. He's really impressed me how he's played the last year, and he's really good with the bat. He is a very
Yeah.
good bowler as well, and he's the captain. So impact player is definitely Hardik Pandya, and the second impact player again remains Rashid Khan. So like I said, they had most of the bases covered. So these two are the
Yeah.
biggest impact players that they have, and they will still
Oh,
have.
perfect. And with this, I will discuss my playing 11. And Yash, I will ask you your playing 11. All the people who are watching this live at the moment and who will watch later on, please do comment your playing 11. I would love to know your opinions as well. That, what mindset are you guys having for this squad? So, my playing 11 includes Gill and Kane Williamson as openers, of course. I'm not I'm not defining anyone's positions here, but I'm just telling my playing 11. So, of course, Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson. Then at number three, I've kept Saha and, of course, KS, and there is a toss between the two, either KS or either Saha. I think so that KS can get a chance in one of the games, but I think so they will go with their previous player, that is Ridhman Saha. With this, I will come to David Miller, because he is giving a left hand option, of course, filling up the pretty evident overseas slot here. Then, of course, Hardik Pandya, Rahul Tewatia coming in because this is a fiery lineup. Here, David Miller, Hardik, Rahul coming in. Rahul giving some of the spin. He is the leggy for Gujarat Titans, so giving some of the leg spin to the squad. Then I've added Sai Kishore here because I feel he is giving a finger spin here. He's coming with a variation. Also, he's giving a left hand batting option here, so I think so right and left hand combination can be found at number 6 and 7 here. And then Joshua Little, because I think so the GT went after good price after this chap. So I think so Joshua Little can be included in this squad because he's the left arm pacer. Rashid Khan, another overseas slot. Definitely he is going to go for GT, and he will be included in the playing 11. Best a spinner, no clarifications for him. Then Shami and Mavi. These are the two pacers. Of course, they have the same style. They both are right-handed, and they both are pacers. But I think so that Shivam Mavi will not be benched. He will definitely be included in the squad because the GT went for 6 year. I'm damn sure. And there can be changes, but if, as said by you, Yash, if Alzari has to come in, then I think so they will have to sacrifice one of the foreign slots. It can be either Joshua Little, which they can sacrifice, or it can be Kane Williamson, which I find very rare. Like, I think so that these two will play. But among the two names, that Joshua Little or Kane Williamson, I think so that maybe Joshua Little can be sacrificed here. And, in place of Joshua Little, I think so Yash Dayal can come in because they have the same type of game. Both are left arm pacers here. And of course, Mavi has to be replaced then of Alzari. So because you need Alzari to come in, you need to actually sacrifice here one overseas player and two Indian players to fit in Alzari, if you look at the squad. So what are your takes on this playing 11, Yash?
Yeah, so again, I agree with most of it. So my playing 11 would be Shubman Gill and Kane Williamson as openers, like I said. I would still
Yeah.
put Hardik Pandya at 3. I would put David
Okay.
Miller at 4. And then at
Yeah.
5, I would have either KS Bharat or Abhinav Manohar or Vidyaman Saha, basically a toss-up between them. Then
Yeah.
at 6 would be Rahul Tewatia. Then Rashid Khan at number 7. Then after that, I would again agree with you. I would play R. Sai Kishore because he was very impressive and he's a left-arm
Yeah.
spinner. And then they've got to go with Mavi because they spent 6 CR on him. So Mavi and Shami would be their two pacers. And then the overseas slot is again a toss up between Joseph and Little. I honestly don't know who they would go to, but they might start with Little because they got him this auction. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean maybe Little makes my first team.
Yeah.
Also because
So
Yash
apart,
Dayal is not here, Yash Dayal is not in the team. They don't have a left arm pacer, so they can play Little along with Mavi and Shami.
so just a quick opinion, Yash. We have done the squad analysis for LSG and GT. Very quick question, one word. Which team do you think has a better squad this season, LSG or GT?
Um, I think LSG have a better squad.
Okay, and another quick question, that amongst all the teams, like all 10 of them, what do you think that who can qualify for the finals? I know it's quite early, but still, just a random guess.
See, this is extremely hard because all the teams strengthen their cases. But I would still say that Lucknow, Gujarat, Mumbai, and possibly Rajasthan Royals would be the four teams. Either Rajasthan Royals or Chennai Super Kings would be the four teams who make it. So I
Okay.
think that Gujarat would make it like last year. Lucknow would make it like last year. Mumbai would bounce back, and the fourth slot will either go to Rajasthan because they have a very good team as well, and their bases are covered, or
Yeah.
CSK because Ben Stokes with CSK just makes them so much stronger than they already were, and also Jameson is in CSK, and I'm a fan of Jameson as well. So I think
Okay.
CSK can also make it.
So with this, Yash, thank you so much for giving all your predictions. Mumbai Indians were a little spectacular. I mean, how come they're going to be in the finals? But let's see that how your predictions will go. And everyone in the chat section and whoever is watching, thank you for joining in. Do subscribe my channel, and also if you want, you can follow Yash. Um, what's your company's name, Yash?
Credexon, so you can follow that on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. We can
Yeah.
put the link.
Yeah, I'll share the link with everyone. Go check out his app and engage with him as well. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Yash, for coming in, giving your time, and doing this amazing analysis. Yeah.
Thank you very much.